Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're almost done with Hisuian form speculation, just a few more to go. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about Wyrdeer, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I could be butchering that. So Wyrdeer is a normal psychic type, which is a pretty good defensive typing. You're only weak to bug and dark, which bug is not a common offensive typing because it's one of the worst. So essentially, you're only weak to dark, which is really not bad at all. So also having that ghost immunities can be nice to have at times. But Wyrdeer also has pretty good abilities. You get Intimidate, which we know is always good. Frisk, which is good in a best of one format, or when you don't know the item set that your opponent's using. And then there's Sap Sipper, which is probably the least useful of the three, but it does have a point because you have grass immunity and it raises your attack stat if you do get hit by a grass move. So depending on your meta, Sap Sipper is actually a great option to have. It's just less well-rounded than, say, Frisk and Intimidate. Alright, moving on to stats, we have a reasonably high HP stat with pretty good offensive stats. Both attack and special attack are 105 base. This will let you use either physical or special attacks, even both. You can just run it mixed, which might be a good option for this thing. Defensively, it's not amazing, not terrible. You might survive a Dark Pulse, but I actually don't know how well this takes a like a Grim Snarl Sucker Punch or something. And the speed stat is really not good. 65 is too fast for Trick Room, but too slow for out of Trick Room, so not ideal. Now, this does get a signature move called Psy Shield Bash, which is a physical psychic move, 70 base power, 90 base accuracy, and it has a chance to raise defensive stats, which for some reason my source does not have the effect percent. But I feel like it's around 20 to 30% chance, if I had to just guess. So I really did not like this move. Using it in PLA, I just don't like it at all. 90 accuracy moves have always been kind of annoying to me, and it could just be my luck because I get a lot of double misses on 90 accuracy moves, which is just not something you want to have in a competitive setting where you miss it and you really needed it to hit, and you have the opportunity for it to hit again and it just misses again because accuracy rolls are fun. So I don't think this is a good move. It's kind of like a more risky version of Zen Headbutt, where, yeah, Zen Headbutt is a bit less accurate, but it does more damage. So, I don't know. It just doesn't feel very consistent to me. It's like a bad Play Rough, and Play Rough is not a great move either. Now, this does get access, of course, to Zen Headbutt, and its normal type physical stab is Tackle and Double Edge. It does get access to Psychic, which is considerably better than any of its other psychic moves, so I would probably want to run this special. You also get access to Energy Ball and Shadow Ball if you want to run it special, and Hyper Beam, not a bad option. Thunderbolt. On the physical side, you see things like Mega Horn, High Horsepower, Wild Charge, Iron Tail, Giga Impact, Bulldoze. So it has a pretty decent offensive move pool. It does get Calm Mind in like a setup move, which is not too bad for this actually, but it's a pretty straightforward mon. It just goes for damage. It has good coverage, not so much for bug, but it has coverage for a lot of typings, so it can just hit a lot of them for super effective. And given its attack and special attack stat, you really can run this mixed, because I could totally see just having high horsepower and maybe Double Edge as your physical moves, and on the special side you have Psychic and Thunderbolt or Energy Ball, just depending on what you need coverage for. And while mon that play this role are not really bad, I mean, Urshifu plays this role. You just have stab moves and coverage, and you click the super effective button on your opponent. This thing can play that role, but it's not actually good at it compared to things like Urshifu, because this is quite slow and it doesn't have the greatest defensive stats. Really the best thing about this mon is the fact that you can run it mixed with a good amount of offense on both stats. But aside from that, it's really not good in a specialized scenario. It's best suited for a general mixed damage build, which it does that role fairly well even though it's a little slow for it. This could benefit from a choice scarf probably to make up for that poor speed stat. A choice scarf could also enable you to focus your EV training more into both offensive stats so that you get good reliable damage out of it. Because some teams are very strong against special attacks and some are very strong against physical. Some leads are stronger against physical than special. So having something with both strong physical and special attacks could be quite useful. You just have to make up for that middling speed stat, and this thing kind of has a point then. But there's another problem with this thing, and that is its stabs are normal and psychic, which are not good offensive typings at all. So what you're left with is something kind of odd, because having good mixed offense and even being able to make up for its speed stat with a choice scarf, you're still playing around that not great offensive typing, and your coverage moves are not going to be stab. So it feels like this thing is designed suboptimally. Like it wants to be 3 different things at once. It has great supportive abilities, but no supportive moves. It has a decent set for being offensive, but it doesn't have the typing to be offensive. It has the typing to be defensive, but it doesn't have the bulk to be defensive. It's a really awkward all-arounder, but it's all-around mediocre. So while I think you could make this work depending on your team, it's definitely not a major threat in VGC, ranked ladder, anything. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.